Hi once again and welcome to the Retro Bear channel. Yes, it's good to be back. Been a very busy couple of weeks which I shan't dwell on. Been very busy having 2 weeks off work and it's been not quite as I expected. Anyway, so what we're going to do, we're going to do some pickups. This covers a couple of weeks actually. It was all done this past weekend, which had been sort of the 12th, 13th of October. Just simply haven't had the time to get out and about, which is a bit of a shame really, but you never can plan these things correctly. So bit of a little pile to get through today. Some interesting stuff as always, and some not so interesting stuff, but we'll wait and see. Obviously very much like you to, if you do like these videos, to leave some comments. Like the channel, ring the bell notification. Always good to hear from you. We'd really appreciate your support. Any feedback, of course, gratefully received, listened to, and probably then discarded. But no, seriously, by all means, it's fantastic to hear from people out there, and always nice to know there's somebody listening to what you're trying to do and talking about. Also, as well, keep your eye across the bottom of the screen because we're putting up the latest updated collection statistics. That's a big of a mouthful, isn't it, really? Just to let you know where I am in terms of my games collection for what I've picked up this weekend. And we'll be doing it every video from now on. We do pickups from, just to give you a little bit of an idea of just how many games there are in my specific collections. As you would notice in the previous videos, it tends to sort of focus on sort of PlayStation 1 and 2, the Wii, obviously, the Xbox 360. Occasionally pick up a bit of some GameCube stuff, and very rarely pick up something else older than that if I've come across anything. And I must admit, it's been quite a while since anything like that has occurred. So let's get on with the PlayStation 2 stuff, shall we, first of all. First up is Battle Construction Vehicles. Wow, how could I not have picked this one up? It looks absolute rubbish. It is, I'll give you a quick shot of the back as well, you can just see that there. Basically, it's sort of about, there we go, you to save your father's construction business from certain doom at the hands of a ruthless rival by basically going around nobbling all their machinery and having giant construction vehicle sites. It's got that sort of cell shaded graphic-y type cover to it, and a slight touch of the animes on the back, Magnastar maybe, I don't know. Yeah, it was 50p. You know, what are you going to do for 50 pence nowadays? You can't buy anything for 50 pence. Much better to invest it in games such as Mercury Meltdown Remix. Now I have this on the Wii, Mercury Meltdown Revolution I think it was called. Very similar game. You will notice I've got all the manuals and discs this week, which is brilliant. Again, that was 50p. Very much sort of a puzzle strategy game, and very playable, sort of a bit like Marble Madness for those of us from an older generation. Next up, Big Mother Truckers 2, Truck Me Harder. How they got away with this 10 years ago, I've got absolutely no idea. Again, manual case complete. Yeah, 75p that one. Not going to complain too much about that if it's a load of rubbish. Play it once because of the shelf, don't it? Stealth Force, The War on Terror. This actually, if you just get a bit closer on it, you may be able to. The instructions, the box is actually in Spanish and Portuguese, and the instruction manual starts off in Spanish and then goes into English afterwards. I picked this up at a charity shop for £1. I'm more interested in the fact that there was a copy of the Lord of the Rings, the Fellowship of the Rings, which is the only one I haven't got on PlayStation 2 of the 3 games of the film. And it didn't sort of strike me until afterwards that when I was sort of looking through the games up on the shelf, there was that game there, but in a foreign language, which I now probably presume would either be in Spanish or Portuguese. If you live near me, you know where. I can tell you where to find one. Micro Machines version 4. I'm disappointed with this one. Seriously disappointed with this game. I never was a big fan of Micro Machines. I've got to be brutally honest with you. I never really liked the top down, and the controls weren't quite. I didn't like the controls. That's another sort of facet of saying I was pretty crap at playing that game, wasn't I? Yes, I was. But I didn't sort of gush over it like a lot of other people did. and I've got version 3 on PlayStation 1, which again I've played a little bit of. But that one there's got weapons in it, and I never remember Mike machines having weapons in it before. Explosive weapon pickups, including flame. That wasn't part of Micro Machines. That was sort of different. I know Codemasters who did the original didn't develop this one, but they have got their name on the front. Yeah, disappointed with that one. Now I did spend a bit more money than usual. Surprise, surprise. On Atari Anthology, because it was my birthday just gone, and I have some surplus birthday funds, which is always nice to have. Thank you very much to my relatives if you are watching. Your generosity is once again gratefully received, and you'll be seeing the benefits of these through the videos. This is an Atari compilation because it's called Atari Anthology as opposed to not, and it's got 18 classic arcade games and also 67 Atari 2600 games. Pretty sure most of this stuff has already been put on Flashback. I've actually got, I think, Flashback 3? I'll have to check, it might even be Flashback 1, I don't know. It does feature things like Gravitar, Millipede, Super Breakout, Video Pinball, Yard's Revenge, Warlords, and of course that all-time classic 3D tic-tac-toe, which is basically noughts and crosses. How they got away with that back in the day, I don't know. I can't remember if I've shown you that, so there it is again. But again, nice looking condition, this one. And who doesn't like Atari 2600 games? After all, for a lot of us, that's my generation. Anyway, people I know, people I grew up with, that's the machines they started with. Those were the consoles that they really sort of got into. I've got one down here, the original one, which is fantastic, and approximately 2 games for us. So that'll keep me going for a little bit longer. Bring back some memories. I'm going to move on to the Wii now. So we have Spectrobe's Origins, which I don't know about that one. Did I show you the back of the Atari? I did show you the back of the Atari. Yeah, let's go back now. Yes, right, there we go. So this is from Disney. I think it was a cartoon or not. I've got no idea. That was 50p. Oh, sorry, I think it was £2.50 by the way. I'm just trying to remember where I was. Things like that. Yeah, I know nothing about this one, but I've walked past it a couple of times before, and I walked past it a third time last week, which was one of the intentions of actually going to where this was actually in stock, and I thought I'd get it, so I got it back this week. I was very suspicious about the quality of the cover, because it's quite a nice looking copy. Always, if you're shopping from a certain second-hand high street retailer called CEX, just make sure that you are getting the proper covers. I fell foul of that a few weeks ago. By me, check out the video when I bought out Alpha Protocol on the Xbox 360. Is it Alpha Protocol? Yes, it's Alpha Protocol, something like that. And I got caught out with a fake cover. That was 50p. This one wasn't. This is Metal Slug Anthology, and I paid £15 for that. I can almost hear people turning off or falling over in amazement. The reason I pay £15, it's a good condition copy. The box is pretty, well, in excellent condition. The cover's fine. The manual is absolutely spotless. The disc is again absolutely spotless, and it's a game which is going to appreciate in value. I appreciate that there are certain things that have been written about it by how the fact that there aren't too many extras or special things on the disc to sort of back up the fact it's an anthology. Also the fact that perhaps some of the emulation and the control method, certainly on the Wii anyway, is not great. Doesn't make any difference. I played Metal Slug up at the Retro Game Arcade in Nottingham last year, and it was great fun. I love the look of these games. I think the cartoony, violent, sort of brilliant look to it. Yes, I did pay £15 for it. Birthday money. But, you know, there. A couple of original Xboxes for you this week, which is Heroes of the Pacific. I get drawn to sort of games about not so much aviation during wartime, but also I don't know, just general wartime, having studied it at school. But yeah, that's a nice one. Dogfight to the Death, one of the most frantic shooters we've ever played. Official Xbox magazine. God knows how many years ago that was. But that was 75p. As was Quantum Redshift with this awful looking cover. Awful looking back thing, but that means obviously it's going to be a bit of fun to play. great to see so many things thrown in with this one as well. Manual, all sorts of flyers, and again that was 75p. There we go. And now I went into a game store, not a game store, game store near me. I don't usually pop into there. In fact, I haven't been in there for quite some time. When I first started collecting this big pile of Wii games behind me over here, they had an awful lot of second-hand games in there, and they were selling them off. This is going back a couple of years now. They were selling them at 3 for 2, and a lot of the stuff was sort of priced at £1.99 and under, which is great. If you're trying to sort of build a collection, you can, you know, buy 3 games for £4, or if you're really lucky, you know, you can buy 3 games for less than £2. Oh, slurp of coffee. And I noticed I went in a branch earlier on in the week in a different part of the country to where I am now, and it was a reasonably small game store, but I wouldn't say it was. They also had a CEX in the same town, and it's about the same size, but they only stocked PS4, Xbox One and Switch, nothing else. Oh, and DS, but nothing else before that. And I popped into 2 game stores near me, and it was a bit better. They were still doing those 3 ones, but they were also doing PS2, PS3 and Xbox 360, which is nice, but not very huge amounts of selections either, which implies perhaps that Game are once again completely misjudging the market, because also in the same, sort of, I said, in the same shop earlier on the week, and also in the shopping centre, they've got CXs who are still sort of selling and retailing, you know, this stuff and stuff even older. And people are still buying things from there, because, you know, the CEX in this particular centre I bought this stuff from, I'm going to show you, has got an entire section for PlayStation 2 still. They've got Xbox 360, they've got PlayStation 3 takes up half a wall, with Xbox One and PS4 taking up the other half of the wall. They've still got a designated Wii section. They still managed to put. They've almost got an entire sort of section for Xbox, original Xbox. They've got that many of them at the moment. So I think that, you know, Game cutting down on previous generation console software availability, it's a bit short-sighted. But the good thing is they are doing 3 for 2, which is good. So pop along to your local game, see if they've got anything in there, and you might be able to find something decent. Now, of course, 3 for 2 is great, especially if they're all £1 and under. So I thought, what I'll do, as with most of that stuff, I'm not going to say all that stuff because you know there isn't anything all that stuff, but apart from 2 games in there, again, all this stuff has cost me under £1. And I thought, well, I'll just limit myself to 99p games. I couldn't find any PlayStation 3 ones I wanted, so I ended up buying some Xbox 360 games from 2 different branches of Game in the same shopping centre. Again, we've been through this, haven't we, before? The company's been saved twice from collapse because they've got 3 stores in the same shopping centres or town centres or anything like that. No, they're still doing it, aren't they? So we picked up Crisis 2, which is the limited edition. It's going to give me some extra stuff playing on, as you can see. Nice on the inside. Not the greatest copy in the world, but I'll see. And then we got Ninja Gaiden 2. I do like a bit of Ninja Gaiden, even though I'm absolutely terrible at playing it. There we go. Bulletstorm Epic Edition. Again, complete with manual. Alone in the Dark, which is the remake of the original. I'm going to play this. I've got Alone in the Dark on the Wii. I've got Alone in the Dark, the New Nightmare on PlayStation 1, of all things. Nice looking. Not great condition. Some of these boxes are a bit bashed, but again, you're paying £1 for them, which isn't too bad. Metro 2033. 2033, I don't know how you pronounce it. And one which I'm absolutely fascinated to have picked up was Child of Eden. Now this is from Tetsuya Mizuguchi, who game designed Rez and Lumines. Now I've got Lumines Plus on the PlayStation 2, which I absolutely love. I can lose a couple of those played quite easily. And I've got a chip Dreamcast somewhere, and there was a copy of Rez in it, and I've lost it. I used to love playing that game. Now, idea, make sure you label your disc, because this disc didn't have any label on it. Nothing on it at all. I forgot to write, I know what it was. and now it's probably been thrown out somewhere, or I'll just find it somewhere completely different. Anyway, so all those were 99p each, and of course, as I was buying 6 of, 3 for 2, 3 for 2, so I've got all those there for £3.96. It's not bad, is it? 60p each, 63p, I don't know, 66p each, something like that. Anyway, yeah, so that's my pickups this week, which is not bad, not bad. There's some decent games there. I am really looking forward to playing that. I really am. But for me, the find of this week, Metal Slug Anthology. I've been sitting there waiting a week for my birthday to come through in case anybody had given me any money for my birthday. I thought I'm going to go and buy that. And it might sound like I'm a tight sod, and I am, but you know, I do this and I stick to within my budget, and that was bought with things that people are giving me, which is fantastic, and gladly it sat on the shelf for all that period of time. Yeah, so that's it then for this week. So like I said, sorry, something caught me eye there. Yeah, by all means leave a comment, subscribe, like the video, do all those bits and pieces. Keeps me going, keeps me happy. Always nice to hear from you out there, and hopefully we'll have something up again soon. But that's all for now. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon. Bye bye.